Hello and welcome back to the channel Keerpunt Vlaanderen. I'm doing a session about EV cars, electric vehicles, because they gave me one for a few weeks while just to test it, just to see how I like it. And it's not a matter of liking it or disliking it, because it drives pretty much as any normal car would drive. The problem is that I find is that the battery of the car, for example, doesn't seem to give enough range. Now that's an individual problem. If people drive to and from work, for example, and they can load at their house, and they can load maybe at the job site, that's fine. It's sufficient. If you have people like me who sometimes have to drive halfway across the country and do 300 kilometers on a day, well, that's a problem, because I have to load all the time. I have to load a lot, almost every day, every 2 days at least. And that takes me anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes to load. And if I load it at home, it takes all night. If I don't forget it, you can't forget it, because then you're pretty much screwed if you forget it. And if you go somewhere where you can recharge the car at some places, well, you have to stay there long enough, because if you don't have enough kilowatt to load the car, the speed that it takes to load the car, you might have to wait 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever. But that's not my biggest issue. My biggest issue with EV cars is that government, the Belgian government, the EU, in a few years, in the next decade, 10 years from now, 9.5, by 2035, they want to make this the only thing that you can buy. You will no longer be allowed to buy any other car besides electric. Now, if you're not a big car enthusiast like me, and luckily a lot of people think that way, they love their cars. Some people work very hard for the car that they want to buy. But in 10 years, you're going to be done for it. The only car that you will be able to buy is electric, period. Now, in 10 years, I am 60. Good for me, 60. If I live that long, by the time I'm 60, maybe 65, that's 2035, 2040 somewhere, like a lot of older people, I'm thinking I'm gonna buy one last car. And I'm gonna keep that car for the next 20 years. Because when I'm 60, 65, I buy a nice new car. I have set my mind on a nice BMW. I like diesel, so it's probably going to be a 3 liter, 530 diesel hatchback or something like that, or brake car that I would like to purchase. And I want to keep that car for until I die. Hopefully I get lucky and I don't get too many problems with the car. And you keep the car until you pretty much die. It's that simple. The problem is that with electric cars, that's not possible. For the simple fact that even if I buy a brand new electric vehicle, let's say a brand new 5 Series in 2040, let's say 2040, I'll be 65 then, I'll buy a brand new one. The problem is that the battery in these suckers, they're not going to last 20 years. That battery is going to be used up before the 20 years is over. And after you are 65, what a lot of people don't seem to get or understand is that banks are not very keen or happy to give you a loan after that age. Try to get a loan for a new car at 70, for example. If you don't have a lot of money, that's going to be a serious problem. If you can make a large down payment, you might get lucky and the bank will give the rest. Or if you are wealthy and you have enough money in your account that the bank can potentially seize, maybe, well, they'll be happy to give you a loan. But if all those factors are not for you and you're not the most wealthiest of individuals, the problem will be that you're not going to be able to buy a next car. So you're going to be stuck with a car that is maybe 10 or 15 years old. You're not even that. And you can maybe drive 100 kilometers with the battery. And that will continue to diminish until the battery simply won't charge anymore, won't work anymore. It's that simple, because batteries are that way. It's not like with a diesel or a fossil fuel car in general. You might break something, a pump. You might break something down in the engine, but it's fixable. And you can continue driving that car when you get it fixed. The only way to fix the electric vehicle is to buy and install a brand new battery. So let's say your car is 45,000 euros. It's probably going to be more by that time, but in 2040 I'll buy a car of 50,000 euros new. And I'll wait 10 years and my battery breaks and I don't have any kind of warranty on the battery. Well, that means that any battery that you buy for an electric car is going to go at least 10,000 euros, maybe even 15,000 euros. And that's your problem, because by the time that you are 75 or whatever and the battery breaks, you're not going to invest in a new battery 15,000 euros, because the car simply isn't worth it. The car has become too old and it just simply isn't worth it to change it. And that's the big difference with a fossil fuel car. I have to have the bad luck to forget to use oil in the engine to blow up the engine, for example. As long as I grease that engine nicely and I respect all the intervals of maintenance of a fossil fuel car, most fossil fuel cars are still driving 20, 25, 30 years later. You can perfectly buy a diesel or a gasoline car in Europe when you're 65 and say, that's going to be my last car and I'll drive that car for the next 15 or maybe 20 years. If I die at 75, 80, 85 maybe, well, I at least had a car that I really wanted, bought it, kept it in good condition, and it's going to help me for the next 1 or 2 decades that I live. Now, that's not possible with these kind of cars. It's that simple. The battery will be used long before that. And that's the same reason why these cars don't sell nice or good in a reseller's market. Because if you go and you want to sell this car to, let's say, a dealership because you bought a new car, a lot of these dealers, they will just point you to the highway. For the simple fact that it's the battery that counts. If you had been very good and careful with the battery, you're going to get some value back, because the battery might be, after maybe 10 years, instead of doing 400 kilometers on a battery or maybe 350, you're going to maybe do half of that. Even if it's fully charged, 100% charged, the battery is going to lose power and it will only provide maybe for 250 kilometers, maybe, or maybe even 200 kilometers. So if you buy these cars, you have to check the battery. period. The whole value of the car is in the battery. And that's the problem. The battery is simply still too expensive. And that's the problem that I have with EV cars. Okay? It's choice. Okay? I want to have the choice in 10 years, 2035. I want to have the right and the choice as a consumer to still buy a diesel car or a petrol car. Okay? I don't want to buy an EV car. I tested them. I don't like them because I have to. It's not for me. Might be for you. That's no problem. Buy it all you like. But think about it. It's a matter of choice, and it's not up to governments to regulate that kind of a choice. Because what kind of a choice is going to be next? If they do this in name of climate change, for example, well, they are going to do pretty much anything else. If you are like me, I'm a little bit on the fatter side. I like eating meat. I like steaks. I like cows and pigs. And I love those things. I love eating these things. I eat lobster and that I like to eat these things. These are very good foods. But now, even that is come under attack. Because also, as for EV vehicles, also, the EU is deciding that we should eat less meat. And that's the reason why they attack our farmers. They call it nitrogen problems and CO2 problems and all sorts of problems. But the reality of the matter is that they have decided that we should eat less meat. And to do so, well, they are liquidating farmers so that there is less meat production, and less meat production means the price goes up. It's that simple. And then you got politicians in Belgium and in Europe in general. They are telling the people that we will buy meat from, example, China. We will buy meat in China because China is apparently building over 50,000 hog farms, pig farms, to produce pig meat. And they will do the same for other sorts of meat. So apparently in China it doesn't matter if there is more nitrogen in the soil or in the air or CO2 in the air. It doesn't matter because apparently all this stuff stops at the border. All this air probably stops mid-air at the border in China. So the pollution is going to stay apparently in China. You see, people, that's as a concerned citizen, it's getting really frustrated to be here in Belgium because we don't get any more choices that we can make ourselves. We have to obey or we will be fined, and it's even so that I'm taking a risk in making these videos because government doesn't like me, politicians don't like me, police don't like me, because I am against these things, because I make these kind of videos. So like I said, if the car is for you, I don't mind that you buy them. But at least give other people the choice, okay? As a consumer, the consumer's choice, that if you don't want to buy an electric vehicle in 10 years or 15 years, respect that choice. It's that simple. It's nothing more or nothing less than that what it is. I hope you follow me on this journey because there are other things to come in the near future. So, hasta la vista, baby.